Estamos ao vivo agora também no YouTube, então vai ficar gravada esse streaming lá no YouTube e também aqui no perfil do Instagram, para vocês que não puderem assistir no momento, podem assistir depois. Então, eu vou falando em português primeiro, depois eu vou falar naquele meu inglês macarrônico que vocês que acompanham as lives faz tempo já conhecem, tá? Então, galera, primeiro em português, obrigado por vocês estarem aqui, vocês que vão assistir agora a live, vocês que vão assistir depois. Hoje nós temos uma convidada lá do México. Não é a primeira vez que nós temos bateristas do México, uma baterista do México. E isso é meio comum, assim. A gente tem visto algumas bateristas muito legais lá no México e a lista é meio grandinha, sabe? Então é bem interessante isso aí, porque a gente já rodou o mundo todo e tivemos em muitos países e o México tem sempre muito boas bateristas, tá? Antes de mais nada, eu quero lembrar, esse ano teremos novidades do festival, mas em breve, como está aqui no ícone do festival, eu vou passar para vocês as novidades, para vocês entenderem, vocês saberem o que vai acontecer esse ano, ok? Então, fiquem ligados, fiquem antenados. E vamos para o meu inglês macarrônico aqui. Hello, people. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Tonight we have a great drummer, special guest from Mexico. We have so many great drummers, female drummers from Mexico. And tonight we have another one, Mariela Sanchéz. And we will talk about equipment, music, drums, and of course about festival that she will be producing in the next week, next 2 weeks. Okay? So if you have any question, boa noite, baterística. Se você estiver entendendo meu inglês macarrônico, é só me avisar. Se não estiver entendendo, digita aí, Joel, não entendi. Please don't be shy. Write your questions for Mariela here. Please, using this question icon and write your question, or using the YouTube chat. Okay? Don't be shy. Let's participate with Mariela and let's talk about drums, that subject that we love. Okay? Let's go. Let's call Mariela. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine. Everything good. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry for my earphones. I discovered that they work much better here.
Okay.
In this position. I can't explain, but here we go. Is like like the medicine. I don't know how to say in English to hear your heart.
Yeah, I understand. Don't worry.
Mariela is English teacher, so I will be in problems tonight. Sorry.
Okay. I don't know if my English is the best, but I think it can work. It can work today.
Yeah, me too. My English it works. Okay, if you wanted to do it, please say hello for your friends here in Spanish or English. Be my guest.
Hola amigos que se están conectando. Gracias por estar aquí. Esta va a ser una entrevista en inglés en su mayoría. Andamos aquí hablando un poco de mi trayectoria baterística, más unas cosas del festival que ya es el domingo. Así que a los que se están conectando, hola. Hello everybody. We are going to talk about my career and also the festival that we are going to have this weekend. Thank you, Joel.
You can speak in Spanish, I can understand, but I can talk in English. You
Okay.
I can say the questions or comments in English, and you can answer me in Spanish if you want it, because I will understand.
Okay, but also if you want, I can do it in in both. I mean English and Spanish, but I don't know if anybody here doesn't speak Spanish, and maybe it would be better to do it in English, so I can do it in both.
So, people, do we want to hear Mariela speaking in English or in Spanish? Say this at the comments here. Okay, I want to start asking you how to play ska music on drums.
Okay, I remember that it was like 8 years ago, more or less, or nine, I think.
Mm,
That the in that time I started to in this band, Girls Go Ska. At first time, I actually I didn't have an idea of how ska works on drums,
mm,
so I decided to make like a research, looking for some drummers, like traditional ska techniques, traditional reggae techniques, and I started to listen a lot of music, ska and reggae. And I don't know, I think it was first with the videos on YouTube, and then I just found a book that is by Gil Sharon. He made a book that is about like Jamaican styles for drums, and
mm.
this book, it was really really good for me because I could understand better how ska works on the drums, because for me it was a little complicated at the beginning, I think. But then I understood completely with this book. So I think this book is perfect. If you want to learn ska and reggae, I think you should buy this book.
Can you write the name of the book here on the comments for people
Yes,
who want to maybe want to doing research about the book?
yes, I am writing. I think there are some videos that Gil Sharon made for YouTube
Yeah, good
explaining.
Sharon. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I just wrote the name.
Okay, Jamaican styles drumming by Jude Charon. Very good. So ska drumming, ska style start. Where did the style starts in Jamaica?
Yes, like in the 60s. It started like 1961, more or less. If I remember well, the first songs that were recorded of ska, they didn't have voice. It was only the music, the instruments, and it was like like to make a party, because they were starting as a country, because it was like the independence of Jamaica, and they start with this kind of music, like saying, "Oh, I am here. I am starting in this world like, as an independent country, and I giving to you this new style of music." So I think this was the beginning, but then this ska changed a little bit with some like a mix with other styles. For example, with in that time it was like the punk in the on England, and it started also a mix there, like ska two tone. It is another style of ska, but it is really interesting because I think the world started to know about Jamaica thanks to the music that they produce. So I think it is really interesting because I think we know Jamaica, but thanks for the music, most of the times I think.
Yeah, I really I was thinking till today that ska music was created in England.
Yeah, I think it was more famous there for some reason, but the ska started on Jamaica, also the reggae, the rocksteady, this kind of styles. But yes, I think on England it became more famous, I think.
Uh, so how I know you are. without your drums. But how can you play original ska beat on drums? You can say like saying the noise like
Yeah.
how to play.
For me, I think it's important starting with your snare, because the snare sometimes is the part of the drums that give you like better sound, I think. So if you have a good snare, a good sound in the snare, I think everything is going to be better, starting with
Mhm.
this. For me, the cymbals that I think are good for me for making this sound. In this moment, I am with Bosphorus, this brand that is
Mhm.
from Turkey. So I just found that the Golden series are really good, because I like this kind of sound on the cymbals that are like more brilliant. That I think sometimes when you are playing ska, you need this kind of sound, like more brilliant, like yeah, like to be protagonistic sometimes. So I don't know, I think the cymbals and the snare, it's kind of important for this. So I can say that thinking about the drumsticks, for me the drumsticks that work really well are like 5A or 5B. For me
Mhm.
is like the good number, is the thing that it works for me. So this is like my recommendation if you want to play ska. I think this is good. So I don't know. um if you want to start to play this, I think the most important thing that you should do also is to listen the traditional ska, because if you want to understand how it works, you need to listen the first songs that were recorded, the first music that it was yes that was made. So I think this is very important. First, you need to listen. You need to pay attention to the things that they are doing. It doesn't matter if you are not going to play the drums. If you want to play the guitar or the bass, is the same, because you need to understand how it works, how the instruments work together. So I think it's very very important. And yes, if you understand, if you listen a lot, I think you will start, or you will understand better how to play on the drums. I think this is a good advice if you want to start play sky.
Yeah, can you tell us about maybe two or three great and reference drummers, ska drummers?
Give me. I think if we are talking about like in the present, some good drummers that for me are like very important, or that can give you a good approach to this. It's Daniel Ciudad from Vieja Esquina. This band is from Peru, and he's really really good in this, especially with traditional ska. So I think this is one of the drummers that you can follow. And for me also, I don't know, it's a little difficult because I have a lot of options, but I don't know. I think you should listen the first recordings of Scatalites. Scatalites was one of the first band that started, sorry, with the traditional ska. So I think if you listen the first recordings with the first drummer, I think you are going to understand better how, or what was the idea that they were thinking with when they started to make this music. So yes, I think just listen the first recordings in general.
Do you have drum solos at the ska style?
I don't know. I think in general the drum solos in this kind of music are like a little different, because sometimes when we hear drum solo, we imagine I don't know, maybe a lot of noise, like a lot of using the complete drums and the cymbals and all of that. But I think when we are talking about the ska and reggae, the solos are like more, I don't know, like
Musical.
le- yeah, more musical, less complicated, with other maybe other techniques, other proposals. So I think one more time I'm going to say that you should listen Vieja Esquina, this band from Peru, because these solos of Jamaican music are really interested, because sometimes the snare is the main part of the solo, and the bass drum sometimes it's another important thing when you are making a solo in this kind of music. So I don't know. I think it's a little difficult to think in a specific solo, but yes, you should listen Vieja Esquina. It's one of my favorite bands of all the time. Thinking about ska.
Great. So people, we just have a ska lesson here from Mariela. If you want to hear playing ska, you can following the band. Please say about anything about your ska band for the people here.
Yes, my band is Girls Go Ska. We are like a female group. We started like 9 years ago, more or less. We are ska, but we are like a mix of ska with reggae, rocksteady, with jazz, with soul. I think it's kind of a new proposal of like the using the traditional ska, but giving a new proposal of this music with another ideas, with another um, kind of music that maybe it can be interesting if you want to listen a new proposal of this music. I think you should listen Girls Goska.
Yeah, you can write for people here where they can find your band on Instagram, for example.
Yeah, I just wrote the name, and it's the same. If you write Girls Goska, it's you are going to find the profile.
Yeah, great, great. Let's talk about your career. Let's go to the past and remember how did you decided to play drums?
It was in 2012, I think, like almost 13 years ago. I was on junior high school, and actually I am a big fan of the Beatles. This is like the my favorite band of all the time, and I
Yeah,
was. I mean, I remember that I used to watch videos on YouTube, and I saw Ringo Starr on the drums, and I thought in that moment that it would be good to learn how to do it by the way that he used to play. For me, it was really good because the music of the Beatles was like an inspiration in that moment for me, and I decided to start to play this the drums. But at the beginning, it was a little complicated because in the place where I live, there are not many options of music schools. And if you want to learn an instrument, sometimes it's like the guitar is an option, or maybe you want to sing. But the drums sometimes is complicated in the place where I live. So I needed to look in other cities in order to find a school where I can start study this the drums. And I remember that when I was in that I when I started studying this, I was the only girl in that classroom. I remember that.
really?
Yes, it was like really weird because I thought that or I suppose that they were more girls, but no, many years I was the only girl in that classroom. The other my classmates were boys. My drum teacher was a boy also, so I don't know. It was a little complicated at the beginning to find another girl that plays drums like me. So Um, I remember that I started like making a research if they were girls, maybe in another countries or in Mexico, that play the drums like me, in order to, I don't know, to know if they were girls, because it was like because I found girls on the guitar, girls on the bass, girls like singers, but drummers, it was a little complicated in that moment. I remember that I started listening the White Stripes, and I found on YouTube that Meg, it was. I mean, it was famous because the White Stripes in that moment was a band that it was famous in that moment. So I remember that I was very surprised for that, because I never found, I never watched another drummer girl in that moment. So this is like one of the first drummers, girls drummers that I found. This is I don't remember the time, but I remember that it was one of the first girl drummers that I found.
So you start to taking lessons, and do you remember about your first track that you learned to play on drums?
Yes,
Sorry.
don't worry. It was "Get Back" by the Beatles. It was one of my favorite songs, so I decided to start playing "Get Back." And in that moment, I was studying in the same music school with my brother and with my cousin. So we made like a band, or kind of a band. So
Uh-huh.
we played together. So it was really good, because it was the first time that I was playing a song, a complete song, and playing with the bass, with the guitar, and yes, like a band in that moment.
Yeah, I think it is the very first time that a guest here say that the first song that she learned was Beatles song. Can you believe?
Okay. I don't know why, but I think Ringo is I don't know. For me, it's one of the best drummers. I think he did a lot for the, not only for the rock music. I think in general for the music. So I think for me it's an inspiration. So thanks to him, I think I play drums today, especially to him.
Yeah, great, fantastic. Do you know one of my favorite Beatles songs? Don't have drums on it.
Maybe yesterday.
No,
Let me think.
yeah.
I don't know what song.
Guess the song. Don't have drums on it.
I don't know. Dear Prudence.
No.
Mm, I don't know. There are many white album that don't
Yeah,
have
there are many
drums.
songs. It's
Mhm.
called Eleanor Rigby.
Ah, yes. Oh, yes. It's
But
very
I
good.
like I like Ringo Starr. I really like. I think it's completely changed the drum history. I think
Yes.
we had two great moments in drums history. Um the first great moment it was with Jenny Krupa when he bring the drum kit for the front because nobody wants to hear the drum kit because it was so loud in the big band era. It's so loud. The bass drum was 26 or 24 inches. It's really loud.
Yeah.
And after that, in the 60s with Ring Star, after Beatles played on TV, American US TV. I forgot the name of the program. Live, they played live for the first time in the United States. Um, do you remember the show? The name of the show?
Yeah, I know what is the show, but I but yes, I
Also,
understand what show. Uh-huh.
you know,
Mhm.
they played two nights lively, and after that, all the young people want to play drums, play guitar, play bass drum, play bass, sorry, and want to be a new Beatle. So the Ludwig, do you know Ludwig? Of course,
Yeah.
uh, had to produce much more drum kits, and everything goes sold out very quickly. So for me, this is the great two moments for drum history. We have another moment, of course, but this for me this is our two uh, game changer,
Important. Hmm.
yeah, important moments here.
Yeah,
So
I just remember
let's talk
Ed
about
Sullivan show.
your Ed Sullivan, yeah, Ed
Hmm.
Sullivan show. So do you remember the very first time that you played live for people, like a show or something with a band lively, not rehearsal, playing for a show for the first time? Do you have some problems with anxiety, like say English, anxiety, anxiety,
Yes,
ansiedade?
actually, yeah, I understand. Yes, the first time that I play, it was on the music school where I study. It was like a concert with all the
Mhm.
students. So I play with my brother, with my cousin, and with a friend. And I was, and I, if I remember well, one of the songs was "Get Back." So in that moment, I was very nervous. Yes, it was a little difficult because it was like the first time that it was my family there, a lot of people. So yes, I was very nervous in that moment. But I think it was good at the end. Maybe it was my first time playing, but I think it was good. I mean, it wasn't um, really bad. So I think I don't know if I have a video of that show, but I think it was good. I mean, I was nervous, but at the end, I could do it. So I think it was good at the end.
Great. People are so shy tonight. You can send your questions for Mariela using that question icon below, and you can write your question or comment. Don't lose this chance for ask Mariela for something that you want to know about her career or drums, etc. So let's talk about your equipment. It's very important here for people know more about cymbals, the drum kit, because you can teach us about something when you talk about equipment. It's so cool to talk about. Let's talk about your drum kit. Are you using Ludwig?
Yes. Not really. One of the brands that I use is Tama
Yeah,
sometimes because I don't know. I like the sound of Tama, or Yamaha is another brand that I use. Ludwig I like, but I think in this moment it's a little difficult maybe to use Ludwig all the time. I mean, I need to sometimes I need to adapt myself to the equipment that the festivals or the concerts put for use, and sometimes the brand that here in Mexico is very common for this is Tama, maybe Pearl, or sometimes Yamaha, but Ludwig sometimes is not very common here for the festivals. I mean, if I want to use Ludwig, I need to bring my own drum set, so sometimes it's a little complicated. You know, the drums. Travel with drums can be a little complicated sometimes, but this is about the in this case about the drums. But in this moment I am working with three brands of cymbals. I am working with Bosphorus. I started to work with them um, like a month ago. I traveled to the USA to the NAM show. This expo is like very famous because there are a lot of brands of music. So I was talking with them, with Bosphorus online, and in that moment I met them on that expo, and yes, I started working like a month ago. I have my own cymbals today, and this shows that started like a month ago. I started to use this brand like Bosphorus cymbals. Also, I am working with the Mexican brand of drumsticks, Haram. Um,
Do you have some drumsticks here for show us?
um,
We don't know haram drumsticks. It's hickory maple. Tell
the
us.
the drumsticks that I like are hickory, but I think I don't have a pair of drumsticks here. But let me see if I can find it. But yes, it's
Yeah.
a Mexican brand, and hickory is the wood that I like. That it works for me, and I recommend a lot because I mean I started with this brand like 6 years ago, and for me they are the best. For ska, for rock, for punk, it doesn't matter the style of music that you play. I think you will like this brand for me. But I think I don't have a pair of drumsticks here, but it doesn't matter. I can show you on later, I think. Um, and also I am working with Aquarian drum heads. I started with them 1 year ago, I think, and they are really good. I mean, um, I it's very common to work with Evans, with Remo sometimes, but Aquarian is a really good brand for me, sorry. And here in Mexico, I think it's very common to use Aquarian. I don't know if in other countries it's common too, but here in Mexico, Aquarian is a good option, and it's very common. I mean, on festivals, on concerts, sometimes you will see that the drum head is Aquarian. So these three brands are the brands that in the present I am working. Um, but I don't know. Maybe in the future, I would like to work, if it is possible, with Ludwig, because of course I like these kind of drums. As you mentioned before, it is especially for Ringo. But I mean, Ludwig is a very very good brand for me. But I don't know. I don't know. At the end, there are a lot of options that are good for me. So it would be difficult maybe to say only one, because I worked with many brands here. So I don't know. Just drumsticks, cymbals, and drumheads are like the very specific brands. In the other things, I mean, I can use another brands. I mean, I am open mind with this.
Yeah. But that Vista Light on your flyer,
Yeah.
is it your drum kit?
Actually, it's the drum kit of my boyfriend. In that moment,
Ah.
he helped me with that, and I was like, oh my god, are you serious? I'm going to use that drum kit. And it was like very very, I don't know, I get in love with that sound. I mean, my boyfriend has the Ludwig Vista Light in this color, but also he has this drum set in color blue.
Mm.
So I don't know what is the best, if that color or if the
Both.
blue. But yeah, the both both are amazing. But
But
yes,
if you get married with him, the Ludwigs will be yours too.
yes, I think so. I think in this moment are mine too. I mean, we are not married, but the things that
If you
they.
get married, if you get married, just boyfriend and girlfriend, the kids are not yours. But if you get married in the future, yes, the Ludwigs will be yours too.
Maybe, but I don't know. I think if I want to use the Ludwig Vista Light in this moment, I can do it. But yes, I agree with you. I need to get married maybe to say that it's mine.
Okay. I think it's time to talk about something special, very different from another streaming with another drummers, because we are talking with the producer of festival called Las Mujeres También Hacemos Ruido. Speak very well. No?
Yes, it was really, really good.
So, speaking in Spanish and fluently in Spanish, please.
Las mujeres también hacemos ruido. El,
Mm,
el primer
muy
encuentro
bien.
de mujeres bateristas en México.
Yeah, muy bien. So we have to talk about this. Please let me to put the informations here. Just a moment. How can I find it here? Las Mujeres. No, Instagram.
Yeah, it's like Mujeres Bateristas Fest.
Okay. A minute. Okay. Mujeres bateristas. Can you write? Okay. Oh, you are
Yeah.
very quickly. Okay. Let's talk about where did come from this idea for doing this festival, my friend.
The idea began for about the thing that we were discussing before. I mean, when I started in this instrument, I didn't listen a lot about the girls that play drums. So for me, I was like, it is impossible that there are no girls. I mean, they are here, they are making music, they are playing drums, but I don't know why many people don't work or don't talk about this. Sometimes when you are looking for a lesson, for when you are looking for a drum clinic, sometimes you all the time you see boys, you see men. So it's kind of complicated to see girls in these kind of things. I don't know why, but this was my idea when I started with this. I started with a research looking for other female drummers on Mexico. I mean, starting in Mexico City because it's a place where I live, where I play. But I found that there are many other girls around the country with that they are playing different styles in different cities, and they are making like a really really good job because they are playing in big scenarios in another countries. They are drum teachers, they are making a lot of things. So I decided to make I don't know, like a, yes, like a festival where we can found this, the job that they are doing, the things that they are doing now, the things that they were doing in the past, and the things that they are going to do it on the future. So I think it's a good idea in order to know to get in touch with this, with the female drummers that are in Mexico, the things that we are doing, and especially I think it's kind of inspiration too, because sometimes when you are like a little girl or little boy, sometimes it's like, I can play the drums, but I'm not very sure, or I don't know if it is an instrument for me, or something like that. And if you look another girl doing that, maybe it can be an inspiration. I mean, you can say like, oh, she's playing, so I can do it too. So I think it's something about this also, to to make an inspiration for other girls or for other boys, I don't know, that are looking for an instrument, in order to find like I don't know, an instrument that for me can save lives. Sometimes the music is something that can help you with many things, with the problems or with the bad things that you're passing. So sometimes it's better to start in this, in the music. So and for me the drums are the best option. And I don't know, I think this is a good idea in order to know about the female drummers, and yes, to make a like an inspiration for other little drummers, I think.
Yeah, and about your reaction when you discovered Girls on Drums Festival.
Hey, yes, I mean, I knew that they were the girls doing this, but I didn't know how many. I thought that we were not many, but I just found that in Mexico at least we are like I don't know, like at least 200. I know that they are more, but I just found 200 more or less. I talked with them. I make like a interview with them. I talk about the information about them, like the styles, when they started, the bands, and on all of this information. So I have like a book. I think in this moment I have like a book with all of this information. So this is the book, or this is the info that I have, that I decided to put in this festival. I mean, we are starting in Mexico City, but maybe this festival is going to be in other places in the country because there are a lot of drummers. So I think this is the beginning. Then we are going to do it another in another cities.
Yeah, great. Like Girls on Drums. Here, we've been doing this festival since 2010. Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah,
But
it's very
let,
interesting because I didn't know that it was like a festival that it was doing this. I mean, there are a lot of female drummers around the world, and I remember that I just found your festival like 2 or 3 years ago, and yes, I noticed that it was from Brazil, and I thought that it was a really good idea because it is not common to see that kind of things around the world in general. So I think your festival is one of the inspirations too for this because I mean, making a festival is not easy. So I think you are doing like a great work with this because sometimes it's a little complicated, to get drummers, to have drummers in this kind of events. So I think your festival is an inspiration too for this. I hope that in many other countries, in many other cities, they can start another festival like this also.
yeah, maybe. Let's see. But let's talk about your festival. Now we are talking with the producer, one of the drummers of the festival, you. Let's talk a little bit about the other drummers. I think it's important because people in Mexico, in your city or in your state, want to know more about. Let's talk about a little bit about Lorena Ruiz.
Mhm.
I spoke correctly.
Yes, Lorena Ruiz. She is a percussionist. I mean, she studied the degree on the university on percussions. So, in the present, she is a pioneer in Mexico, making music for the movies. It's very interesting because she makes the music with the percussions, with the drum set. Um, with I mean, she worked a lot in some movies in the theater also, and she traveled also to Italy doing this, the work, the job that she is doing. So I think on the festival she's going to talk about this, the things that she is saying that she's doing, sorry, with the percussions and the movies, because it's, I don't know, it's something that it's not very common to see sometimes, like with the drums or with the percussions make the music for the movies. Is like not very common. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, great. Let's talk about a little bit about Karen Fiesco.
Yes, Karen is very interesting because she's a drum teacher, and she has her store for drummers. I mean, in the store, she sells many things like drumsticks, drum heads, cymbals, like many things for the drummers. And it's very interesting because the store is like kind of famous here. And I don't know, sometimes it's not common also to see a girl having this like an store, online store for drummers. I mean, all the time they are boys. So she's going to talk about this, how it works, to how or if it is difficult, if it is easy to have this, to have her own business about this, about the drums.
Yeah, great. Let's talk a little bit about Yaya Gonzalez.
Okay, I think she is really interesting because she has worked with many artists. She ended with a tour with Mon Laferte. She was the drummer. She's working with Sonido Gallo Negro. It's like a Mexican psychedelia cumbia, more or less. And she has her own project, Stereo Animal, like it's like rock pop. I mean, she worked with different styles. She has the experience to playing the drums in not only in Mexico, I mean in the USA, in Latin America, in Europe. So she is going to talk about this, how it works, how what is the experience of her playing in other parts of the country and different styles.
Yeah, let's talk about Saul Kiden.
Okay, she now is the percussionist of Elefante. It's like a pop Mexican band, and she has played especially with reggae and ska. So I think she is going to talk about the things that you learn with this kind of music, and especially also because she's a singer and she's a percussionist too. So she's going to talk about this also, how it works, to sing and play the drums at the same times, or play the percussions and being a singer also. So I think this is about her.
Great, great. Let's talk about Ana Olita.
Okay.
Olita.
Yes, Anna is the youngest girl that is going to participate. I remember that I met her 2 years ago. She is from Oaxaca. It's a city here in Mexico. And I remember that she told me that it was a little complicated to find a teacher when she decided to start with the drums, because sometimes the people told her that you are a girl, the girls don't play drum. So it was a little complicated to her when she started like when she was 11 years old, something like that, and now she's 14 years old. So she's going to talk about this, how what is her experience playing the drums where she lives, and also how has been this experience during these years. I mean, because it was a little complicated, so I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I see. Let's talk about Hime Paul.
Okay, she's a really good drummer, especially in rock music. In the present, she is the drummer of Alejandra Guzman. She is kind of famous here in Mexico, and also is the drummer of Tete Novoa. I think he was a musician of Saratoga, and Spanish band from Spain, I mean. And I think now she's working with Mystica Girls. It's like a female band here in Mexico of rock music, and she's going to talk about this, how it works. To be a female drummer in rock, because sometimes it's different. I mean, if you play reggae, it's not the same if you play rock. So I think she's going to be her point of view about that.
Yeah, and finally about Annie Ramirez.
Mhm. Annie is the drummer of Introtil. Is a female metal band, like a death metal band of all the musicians are girl. And it's kind of interesting because sometimes it's I mean, it's not common to see a girl playing this kind of music, and it's a little complicated also because sometimes the people are expecting to see a man playing
Mhm.
that. So I don't know. The experience can be a little different for her, and the techniques and all the things that she's doing is kind of interesting. So it's another point of view also.
Great. So, do you recommend to us to make live streaming with each of them?
Yes, I think it would be a really interesting. I mean, all the girls have their own stories, their own experiences, and I don't know, they can give you another perspective of how it works here in Mexico. This kind of instrument for the girls. I mean, so I think
Yeah.
it's
So
going to be
you have
interesting.
to. Yeah, I believe so. But you have to recommend us to do this streaming
Yeah,
in the near future because
yeah.
we have here at least seven great musicians.
Yes, yes, I'm going to tell them because I think it's really a really good idea because I know maybe in Mexico they are kind of popular, they are kind of famous, but it is a good idea that other people around the world can know the things that they are doing. So maybe it is a good idea to tell to tell them about this about the Girls on Drums festival.
Yeah. So tell us about the festival per se. For example, I'm seeing here that you will have um, concerto, bazaar. It will last one day, entirely one day.
Yes, it's going to start like 1 p.m. and it's going to end at 8 p.m. So
Wow.
yes, it's all the day, and because also my students they are going to play a song. This is very important also because they are learning in this moment how to play drums, and
Yeah.
I decided to put them on the festival to play to start with this career of playing drums with people. I mean, live music, you know.
Yeah, it will happen. What kind of venue? And at what kind of venue? It was like a theater or
Mm, and not exactly a theater. I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a forum, more or less.
mm,
Yeah, I mean, it's not small. It's actually big. I think so. It has a lot of space for many people. So if you want to arrive on Sunday to this festival, it doesn't matter if you cannot arrive since the beginning. If you can arrive later, I think it would be good. So it doesn't matter. And if you want to come, you should come. It doesn't matter the hour.
yeah. And about your tickets, are selling well?
I think so. In this moment, I think we have space. If you want to buy some ticket, you can do it on passline.com. Sorry, and the price is 100 Mexican pesos. I think it's not expensive. So if you can do it today, you can join us because there are a lot of tickets. So I think it's better if you do it before because on that day the price is going to be it's going to be more 150. So I think it's better to buy it before.
Yeah. We have a question here from Audrey Toru. Sorry for if I'm speaking wrong. The question is like a cultural stage festival.
Yes, I think so because it is like the space for the concert, but there are also stores where you can buy, sorry, drinks, food, clothes. So yes, it's I think it's like a cultural stage. It's a better description for that space.
Yeah, talking about clothes, I really want to. your how to say in English you're wearing?
In this moment?
Yeah,
Or
sticks.
yeah, yes. Yes. It's because I have like a brand, like a project with my boyfriend. It is sticks. We have an Instagram. This is like a project for, especially for drum lessons. I mean, both we are drum teachers, so especially the idea was to give drum lessons. But like a few months ago, we decided to make also other kind of activities like merchandising, like I don't know. I think today there are a lot of things that we do as the Sticks project, and actually Sticks is doing this festival. I mean, I am doing the festival, but I am doing with the name Sticks because this is a project. The idea is that um, maybe later after this we can do another thing similar, maybe not only for the girls. I mean, we are thinking in inviting some other drummers from Mexico, but maybe from other countries. I mean, the idea is to promote the things that the drummers are doing for the music. So maybe on the future we will have another projects in order to do this, to promote, to teach, and yes, especially to teach, I think.
Yeah, great. If you have a chance, send me one of these. I don't know how to say in English.
I don't know if it is beanie, if it is the correct word. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you understand.
Yeah, don't worry.
Maybe it's so expensive to send one of this for me. So expensive to send Brazil. Okay, let's go to the final part of this streaming. But I have the question that I always do for the guests. The question is, can you name your five? I know it's very difficult. I know, but let's try. Five female drummers that you like more. Your
Mexican
favorite five
Mexican drummers, or it doesn't matter.
around the world. Mexican, Brazilian, American, Chinese.
Okay. Okay. For me, one of the pioneers also was Karen Carpenter. I think she was. Um, I mean, in that time, it was not very common to see girls on drums. So for me, Karen Carpenter is one of the inspirations.
Yeah.
Cindy Blackman also.
Mhm.
I remember when I saw her playing with Lenny Kravitz, and it was like, yes, I get surprised with that. So I think she's another. Um, when I was younger, I remember that I discovered on YouTube Metal Cohen. I think the pronunciation is that, but
Uh-huh.
she was famous because she did a lot of drum covers. In that time, for me, it was like one of the first female drummers that I discovered on YouTube. Also,
Mhm.
because I looked for a drum cover, I remember that maybe it was like a Metallica cover, and I found her. So maybe metal is another inspiration. Let me see. It's because it's a little complicated.
We have three. Two
Okay.
more.
Meg White is going to be another because, as I
Okay.
told you, it was one of the first female drummers that I discovered, and I think
Mhm.
I'm going to say Anika Niles because
Yeah, okay.
I think her technique is something that I admire. I think.
Great. Five favorite drummers. So let's finish this streaming. But before we go, let me say that was a pleasure to have you here tonight. I really hope that your festival goes very well. And please send us some pics or little videos to to us to put at our profile, Girls on Drums. It will be a pleasure to show for another drummers that know nothing about you. So it's our pleasure to promote something like this, of course. And I have to ask you to leave a message for the young drummers that will be watching this streaming in the future or watching now. A message that came from your heart about drums, about inspiration. So you can say whatever you want to say for people here. And let's hear your message.
First of all, I have to say thank you to you because I don't know. I think at the end the message is to promote the job that we are doing as a female drummers, and I think you are doing well because it doesn't matter the country. I think at the end the goal is the same, to promote this. So I think it's very very important, and I need to say thank you, Joel, because it's very important to have these spaces sometimes. And also I think for me the drums are are part of my life in this moment. I mean, it's not only a hobby or a thing that I do on my free time. In this moment, it's something that I do almost, I think, all the time. I can say, and in this moment, I think it's a part of me. I mean, Mariela Sanchéz is not Mariela Sanchéz if I don't have a drum kit with me. So I think the drums are very important, and I think they can be important for other people. So if you are thinking to start in the music, you can choose the drums. I mean, sometimes we can think that there is a lot of noise with this instrument, but at the end it's about how can I say, I mean, to be free, with the things that you are doing, with the things that you are playing. I mean, the drums for me is about this, to be free, to be to express yourself at the end. And it's another way, because with another instruments you can do it in a different way. So I don't know, the drums is different, it's special. If you are a young kid, and if you're thinking to start with this instrument, do it. Is the thing that I can say. Do it. It doesn't matter the things that people around you can say. At the end, is a thing that you like, because you are going to play. So if you are thinking, do it. That's my final message.
Yeah, great. People, thank you for being here with us tonight. I hope that you learning a lot like I did with Mariela. And really, really, we wish a very successful festival. As as I said, send us pics, videos, short videos, and show us what happened, because I can be in there and the drummers here can be in there. But we want to see something about, and for sure it will be a great start. And we wish the best for you in Mexico.
Thank you very much, and of course I will send you a lot of pictures.
Yeah, thank you so much. People, bye bye. Don't forget to stay tuned for the news. This year we will have a new issue for Girls on Drums Festival Brazil. Okay, see you in next week, next month, sorry, with a new guest here. Thank you, Mariela, for your patience. Thank you. Goodbye, people. Have a good night. See you.
Bye.